Hey, where are all those fails?
Shut.
I don't know anything about this because I lived in Baltimore.
Back in the beginning, there was my mom and dad. We listened to My Chem so much, and we also had a friend that was really into Less Than Jake. Like, really, really, really into Less Than Jake. Oh my gosh, he was so into them. But yeah, he like wanted to get a band together, and like I remember it was like me, Steven, Colin, and Isaac. And they were like, dude, let's start a band. And Colin was like, I'll play drums. And they were like, Alex, we want you to play guitar. And Steven was gonna play bass, and Isaac was gonna play guitar and sing. And I was just like, you want me to play guitar? But I do have a drum set I could use. We switched it, and Colin started playing guitar, and I started playing drums. And that became a band throughout all of middle school. We on and off bands, a bunch of names. It was Hath, Endless Fear, Ace Dynamite, Hyperfolic, dude, that one was cool. And then in 8th grade became The Scam, and that was really what took off the bands. We actually weren't that bad for middle schoolers.
There was a band called Torrential Downfall. And that band... We literally had a cycle of drummers. And we never could find one, so we just ended up going, hey, this guy could play guitar and sing, and he was new. And then he's like, I'll play bass. And I was like, sure, why not? I'll go ahead and play drums. And then that was kind of the basis for All Else Fails, right there.
The goal of Torrential Downfall was like a bunch of drummers getting together to be in a band, and I wanted to see what would happen. Basically what happened was there was a graduation party for a friend of ours, and I got a text saying, hey, does your band want to play for my graduation party? And I'm like, oh hey, I don't have a band anymore. So it was kind of awkward, so I was like, I guess not. I don't think we can really do anything because there's no band really anymore. So she's like, oh, that's okay. And I was like, well, I'll tell you what, I can call up the old guys and see if anybody wants to be in a band again. So I called Alec and was like, hey, your girlfriend wants a band to play. You want to get something together real fast and just play a bunch of covers or something? He was like, yeah, sure, that's cool. I'm up for that. Then I called AJ and I was like, hey man, you want to play bass? And he was like, yeah dude, whatever. And then I called Alex and was like, hey man, you want to play guitar and sing? He was like, yeah dude, whatever.
Except calling was Facebook messaging.
So we got together, had a band practice. We learned Welcome to Paradise, and
that was All Else.
That was the beginning of All Else Fails, but we did not have a name yet. And it was around the time where we called up our manager Steven and asked him to be our sound guy / babysitter. We were like, hey man, like, we have no idea what we're doing electronically.
Well,
I was in a club one night.
I was out smashing a few brewskis.
Basically, drumline, definitely UHS drumline. We were all like, it was Alec was a junior, I was a sophomore, and AJ was a freshman. And we were on the drumline together, and that's basically where we met. And this guy moved here, like what, halfway through the year?
I moved, my first day at UHS was January 3rd. It was the second day back from winter break. Well, I mean, I wanted to start a band in Baltimore, but like, things never got serious. And I came up here and I saw Torrential Downfall play Fat Lip. But yeah, I saw you guys, but I'm like, these guys can play, they're cool. Now I need to find people like them. Then it turns out, a few months later, I ended up doing No Idea with you guys.
I remember when I first heard Alex play any instrument, it was drum set. And he played the drum set, and you could do stuff. You were better than some, I know. So I was like, hey, AJ, maybe he could be our new drummer. And then you got a guitar out of the practice room, and we were like, nah, he's a guitarist. And we're like,
I played half of your Torrential Downfall set list.
For me, I never listened to rock, like in middle school and like beginning of high school. I always had the interest in it because of my parents making me listen to like old school rock, like Kiss and AC/DC, so I was like well rounded with that. And then like earlier punk, so like Blink-182, Green Day.
So, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
You can go.
So,
Green Day, Green Day, and Green Day.
And Billy Joe.
well, I mean, I started off listening to music very similar to AJ. Anything from AC/DC, Kiss,
Billy Joe.
Led Zeppelin, the
Billy
Beatles.
Joe.
Most,
I'll get to him.
mainly my whatever my dad listened to. End of 7th grade, early 8th grade.
Billy
I
Joe.
started listening to a lot of Nirvana, and like that's when I was beginning to learn to play guitar more. I mean, like I kind of knew like chords, but that was it. On the
Billy
way
Joe.
home from a baseball game one day, this song came on the radio, and I'm like, dude, that song, oh my god. The only words I knew were "Welcome to Paradise." So I'm like, all right, let's go home and Google it, and I searched it. They're pretty cool. Then I just get listening to more and more, and it hasn't stopped since. Then I moved up here, and they started showing me Blink-182 and My Chemical Romance. But yeah, I love
So
Billy
really
Joe,
like
and I would love to
Really
make
like
children with him.
Beatles
So like
is
seriously,
Billy
Billy Joe, if you see this, man, my number is 304. Message me.
My influences. All right.
This is about you. It's about me.
I'm totally gonna jump skip between. This is not about you. It's about me. and then whenever he starts talking,
Yes.
it's gonna be great.
So yeah, I grew up in a room with my brother who was into My Chemical Romance, Blink-182, Angels and Airwaves, and Metallica. Oh, and I remember one was like always Alien Ant Farm. Who's the one that did the cover of
Yeah,
Michael Jackson.
Smooth Criminal.
That was Alien Ant Farm. Yeah, I remember every morning before like waking up for first day of like first grade or kindergarten or something. It was like dum digga 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 dum dum digga dum dum. So yeah, but I had no idea who those guys were, and then it came to 5th grade where I started playing Guitar Hero with a bunch of friends. I remember one day I found My Chemical Romance CD and found out they had a song on Guitar Hero 2. And jammed to that song with a friend of mine all the time. But yeah, and then I found a CD, Life on the Murder Scene. We were hooked on Bandcamp. We were so hooked. Steven's back there nodding like, yes. And then throughout the years, I just keep getting influences that make me want to start all these different projects. Like the last one, there was like a stage in life where when I met AJ, we were really into like metal and screamo stuff actually. And like we went to shows around town because it's like all they had going on in town was a bunch of screamo shows, and there's a weed whacker outside.
We're gonna world domination.
I'm gonna say the future plans are definitely to keep moving forward. Always like I know that's so stupid, but like we pretty much have like a list that we have like made. And like the future is literally to cross everything that we have on that list, which is like making a full-length record, making an EP,
Open up for Green Day.
Opening up for these bands, and it's just you gotta work towards
Have
the goal.
children with Billy Joe.
Oh, makes so much of this happen.
Schoolers.